Good evening, everybody. Sorry, Mike was muted. Trying to multitask. Today it will be me, Sherry, and Rayvon. S. Marley, actually, and Rayvon. And Rayvon is going to pop in at any moment now. We're having technical difficulties. There he goes.
There
He's
he
coming
is.
around
There
the
he is.
mountain. Here he comes.
He's loading.
Yes, he is loading. Um, well, he loaded back out, but anyways, today's topic, as you all know, we will be discussing um, same-sex relationships, and so we're going to have it from the woman's perspective, and then we're going to have it from the man's perspective when Rayvon chimes back in. Also, you guys, I really would love for you guys to start chiming in, doing a Q&A with us, and really, this is what this is for, so we can actually communicate with our audience. But it seems like everybody's so shy, they don't want to talk, they want to inbox and talk about it. But listen, Linda, just set yourself free, ask questions, get informed so you can get inspired and impacted. Okay, don't be shy. If something's on your mind and on your heart, let's talk about it while we go on live. Because all these topics that we have, it comes from individuals. I don't make these up. Some of them I do because I feel like they're good topics. Well, I'm not making it up, but I like to discuss real life topics. And so most of them, though, I would say 80% is people have written in and then they just want some feedback. But let's just start a dialogue where we're actually communicating with each other. Y'all asking me some questions from my perspective, from the guest perspective. And don't be shy. Don't feel like, I don't want to ask that because I don't want. This is why it's called Can We Talk? Because, people, Can We Talk is broad. And we feel like if you're joining that and you know my vibe and you know my guest vibe, then nothing is going to be taken personal. When you're wise and you got plenty of wisdom, you know when it's personal and you know when it's not. So don't be shy. Express your thoughts and so you can get some information on it. Because some of y'all be wanting to talk after the podcast during the week before it, and I can't reply back because I'm busy. I'm swamped. I don't have time. This is the whole purpose of the podcast. So I want to thank everybody for coming on. Don't forget to be a friend, tell a friend, share the podcast, go on over to YouTube and put in Raw Wisdom and subscribe and hit the bell, and because we got a lot of great things coming. And also next week we are doing a photo shoot. I am partnering with Toria White, which is the founder of Fashion Week out of Fredericksburg, Virginia, and myself and the social club, and we all are partnering with each other just to make a statement that achieving greatness is definitely in the air. And my piece is because of the for individuals that have been incarcerated and will be coming back, well, that have came back into society and they have got rejected, but then they had turned around and got accepted to be an entrepreneur or to actually start their career, and they're doing very well, they're successful. And it just goes to show that someone's no doesn't mean that it's the end for you. It just means it's just not for you, and there's greater things ahead if you keep traveling on that road of righteousness and that road of doing things different from before. So help me welcome my guest, as that. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
So we're gonna go ahead. Um, we're gonna go ahead and start the podcast. And like I said, we're waiting on Rayvon to come in, but seem to be having technical um, difficulties. So me and you will talk.
Okay.
As that you can introduce yourself and tell everybody about your past and just a little bit about yourself and your personality.
Okay. All right. So my real name is Sherry. I do go by S. Marley. Um, I right now I am working 3 jobs currently. I love to work with kids. I'm also a caregiver at this time. I'm opening a nonprofit youth center. I am working on that right now. So I am in the process of opening that up, and that's my passion right now. Is working with kids, the youth, whether sports, education. So that's kind of where I'm at in my life right now. I grew up, I played sports. I play sports now. I grew up playing basketball, AAU. So I'm pretty known. I coach right now for the YMCA. So pretty much I'm a community person. And I like to have fun. I'm all about vibes, pretty chill. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Okay, well, we see we have Rayvon on with us finally.
Mm-hmm.
He's finally in the building.
I see
Um,
curtains.
yes, I see curtains as well. Mr. Rayvon, we're gonna need you to get it together. You see, you you see how folk act when they off for a couple weeks. You see that? um, so the topic today, the reason why, and actually someone written in, and then me and Rayvon had this topic as well. We have discussed it about just informing individuals about same-sex relationships, because everybody has their perspective to what same sex, what gay is, lesbian, bisexual, and the challenges and how they look at you. And then you got some individuals that are like this, but they're scared to come out. They don't know how to tell their parents. They don't know how to say it to their friend. They don't know how to even say it to their partner, because they're in a heterosexual relationship, but they really want to be with the same sex. And so this is why we have, you two on here so we could, talk about it and just your experience and your feedback
Mhm.
on what you experience and what do you recommend um, if someone is actually struggling, through that piece. And so, Rayvon,
What's up?
okay, hey, how can you smile for us? Hey, how you doing? Can you give us some vibe? Like it's like you coming in here with a cloud. You can't come through here with a cloud.
I'm sorry, babe. I still can't see S. I don't know what's going on. This is the first time this has happened, but I can see
Okay, you
you.
got it. What you got, an iPhone?
No, I'm Android. I'm back to Android.
Oh, I can't blame it on that then. But can you
Oh,
hear
don't
us?
do that.
Can you hear her?
No, not at all. I don't know
Well,
what's
she
going
hasn't
on.
said anything.
I waved to
Okay,
him. Yeah,
but
so
I
he
still
probably.
can't see her at all.
You can't see her, but can you hear her?
No,
I just spoke, so he.
so I don't know what the issue is, but
But you can see him. That's
Yeah,
that.
I can see and hear him perfect. Do you want me to leave and come back?
No, We're gonna start. Well, so I guess I'll just be the Q&A person
Okay.
between the
okay.
two. All
Okay.
right. So are you on your phone, Rayvon, or you on the computer?
No, I'm on my phone. Let me grab my other phone just to be on the safe side. Give me a
So
minute.
that way, if you listen, hello.
Uh-huh. I'm right here.
So if you chime in just off of the other phone, just where you're
Yeah.
watching it on YouTube
Uh-huh.
or my Facebook, then
Hmm.
you'll be able to hear what she's saying, and then you can chime in.
Got you.
Okay. So as that,
Mm-hmm.
when it came to you, at like what age did you discover um I have an interest in the same sex and boys is kind of not for me or
Um,
men?
that's a good question. So probably around 11 or 12. I'm gonna say for me. Before that, I wasn't really thinking about anything. Boys, girls. I wasn't thinking about anything. So I'm gonna say around like 11 or 12 years old. But at that time, I think I was more like confused. I think I was at that time I was looking at, boys and I was looking at girls. So it was like a 50-50 type of thing when I was like 11 or 12. So I didn't start off just looking at females. But at that time when I first realized that I was attracted to females, it was a 50-50 thing at that time.
So what made you say, okay, the female is for me and the male is not for me?
Um, I, and I don't know, probably an attraction thing. I think I was more attracted to females than males. I've never been like turned off, like, because you find some people like that, they're like, oh no, I'm not like that. So, or when I was younger, I would see, people for who they were versus their sex or gender. So I think attraction wise, the feminine part was what kind of made me pull more towards, being attracted to females at that time.
So was it kind of more so you can relate to them and you felt like they could relate to you?
As far as like the boys, I was playing sports with them, so I looked at them more as like friends, just to hang out. And then at that time, they were looking at little girls and things like that. So when I was little, I mean, I was kind of one of the I was the
One of the
tomboy at that time.
homeboys.
Yeah, I was one of the homeboys playing football with them and everything like that. The little girls would be standing on the side, so I was kind of with them more so, and I felt more comfortable hanging with them at that time. So that's kind of how decided at that time.
Okay. All right. Um, Rayvon.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, can you hear her now?
No, I'm just
Okay.
lost in this conversation. I'm trying to correct this.
Okay. So were you able to log in on the other phone?
Send me. You still have that number? Can you send me that link through the 804 number?
Okay, so I am going to ask you this while you're trying to do that. Would you be able to do both?
Yes.
Actually, okay. So for you, from a male's perspective, at what age did you realize, okay, the woman is really not for me? I connect more with the men's side of things.
I was actually my 18th birthday. I always knew something when I was little, something was different about me. I just didn't know exactly what it was. But I didn't realize I didn't realize everything about as far as like being with the same sex until I was about maybe 18. I had a birthday party and I was kind of approached by a certain individual. And it popped off and I didn't know. I woke up the next day, didn't know what was what. And I don't know, from that day forward, it was like it kind of gave me confirmation of where I was heading as far as my relationship and my sex life and all that stuff. So it was difficult to deal with, but it was crazy because I still like the way females look. I would still actually sleep with a female, but me, the person that I am, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, me being a gay man and I'm out now and I've been out for a long time, but to actually be online talking about this is something different for me. So it actually feels kind of good. Um, but even me today, like females still try to holler at me. You know, I'm like, man, you're like, I want the same thing you want. And they be like, hey, some on freaks, they want to get it popping too. Hey, let's get it popping.
Right. And so, okay, so I will say this. I didn't know that about you years ago, right?
Uh-huh.
Because some men just don't have that look, right? But
Yeah.
it wasn't like a shocker. And I'm not saying it's not like a shocker. Like I looked at you and said, "Oh, he's suspect," because you don't carry yourself with, like with some guys, you can kind of see it, right? You can kind of the way they
Yeah.
move, the way they act, and just
Yeah.
they bitch and all that. And so you get
Yeah.
like that when you're around your friends, right?
Yeah, like when I can
And
get loose when I'm around y'all. Like we hang out and get loose, but it's like to me, I feel like it's a time and a place for everything, especially as a man. It's a time and place for everything. And being that my family respect me and love me for me and who I am, I have no choice but to respect them. In my heart, that's just who I am. I feel like
right.
my life is my life. If you respect what I'm doing and who I'm with, we're good. But I would never throw it in your face. Like I just think that's so disrespectful at a certain
Right.
point in time. There's limits to everything.
Right. So, for SDOT,
Mhm.
how long did it take you to share with your family about your sexuality?
Honestly, the first person that I spoke to about it was Peabody, rest his soul. He was the first person that I felt comfortable. Um, for those who don't know, he invented the Young Expressions.
This is I
Right.
don't know
Um,
why this is doing this.
so he was the first person that I talked to about it. He would always call and he's like, hey, because I would be angry. I'd be upset just for no reason. I didn't know why I was so angry with certain things in my life. So he would say, hey, just talk to me whenever you're ready. He never pressured me. So finally, I just felt like one day I said, this is just weighing so heavy on me. Like, I didn't feel like myself at that time. I felt that, a lot of people were more judgmental than they are now. It was kind of like a thing where I felt like I had to hide who I was. So he was the first person that, I let know, and it felt good. Just like Ravon said, it felt good to kind of get that out there because, as a child holding that, it's just a lot. So he was the first person that, I felt comfortable. Then my family, I think they kind of already knew at that point, but I kind of said, hey, this is me, at a certain point with family, and they accepted me, for who I was. So a lot of people don't get that, but I'm grateful to have family members that accepted me at that time.
Okay. And so, Rayvon, um, let me and actually this is a question for both of you,
Okay.
right? And just raise your hand whichever one want to go first. So this is a question for both of you. Um, did you both have a sense that if I'm with the same sex, I won't get hurt by the opposite sex?
There we go.
Can
Can
you
y'all
guys
see
say that
me?
again? Yep, I can see
So,
you.
yeah, we can see you, we can hear you. Cool. Okay,
Dang.
so my question was to both of you, what was there like a time or a thought that, because and I'm asking because I hear, right? And I'm
Mhm.
curious as well. And I just like to ask from the source. All that gossipy and we assuming and we heterosexuals, let's just go straight to the source.
Right.
So was there ever a time that someone that was bisexual or, um, lesbian or gay, well, I guess it's kind of the same, but said to you, well, one thing about being with a woman, you won't get hurt by a man, and a woman won't treat you like a man or treat you and dog you out and this, that, and the third, vice versa when it comes to the men piece. But to be honest, I kind of hear it more so on the woman's side that this is why they're the way they was hurt so bad that they just started being attracted and they just got a hatred for men. So this is where they were at. And then so I just that was basically my question, that, and I'm sure some viewers would like to
Yeah.
know, was that ever displayed to either one of you?
No. No one hurt me. No, no male or anything hurt me to where it put me more towards women. I honestly, to be honest with you, and my wife knows this, I still look at guys or men. Like I'm still attracted. I love Ghost. I love Ghost. I think he's the finest thing ever. I'm still attracted to men. It's not something that, someone hurt me to where I'm like, oh, I don't want to look at them like that. I still see men and I'm saying, oh, he's fine. I've said that.
Right.
Me and, I've said it to my wife, and she looks at me, but I'm like, she understands that. So no one hurt me as far as a male to make me want to be with a female or not be with a male. So that's my answer to that question.
So it's just basically that's just your preference.
That's just
Is
my
I'm
preference.
attracted to both, but I prefer a woman and I'm a roll with a woman. And I look at a man from time to time, but I wouldn't pull up on a man.
Hmm.
I'll pull up on a woman though. Rayvon.
As far as me, no one ever hurt me because I really only had one major girlfriend. And pretty much everybody knows who that is. Um, and we're still friends to this day. I was never hurt by a female, but at the end of the day, I will say my preference has always been a man. I didn't know at first, but now, like, yeah, like I could see myself maybe dealing with a female on the side or whatever the case is, but strictly man all day. Like, and I don't want no feminine man. Like, if I want a female, I'm gonna go with a female. I want a man, straight out.
Right,
If
because
anything feminine
that
about you,
be
I can't do it.
because that be the piece for me. Because I'd be like this: you want another woman, but her persona got to be a representation of a man.
Mm.
So why not just get a man? And you already know what she got for the tool of a man. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's the confusing piece to me, and that's what I call riding the fence. So if you're one way, like if you're this way, and I'm not saying everybody got to be feminine because you got some that just like the boyish look, that just like the relaxed clothes, but you got some women that really prefer to deal with the same sex, but they want that man persona, right?
Hmm.
And then you got some men that want to deal with a man, but he want the look of a woman. So
Yeah,
is it more so much of a tool piece
with
or like
me,
a
I don't know. I guess everybody's different. Like, I've never
Right.
understood me being a gay man. I've never understood that because my thing is like I would never mess with a tranny. I would never mess with a man that dresses or does drag. I would never mess with a man that's real femme or semi-femme. If you are not all man, I can hang with you all day. But as far as being attracted sexually or just being with you, I can't. I can't do it.
so question? So your preference of a man, you like an old thug, don't you?
I want a hood now.
But listen, I
I-
will say this. I will say
uh-huh.
this because I'm not a feminine woman, but I will say this. A lot of people think that And I can talk freely, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Listen, it's
Yeah.
called Can We
Okay.
Talk?
All right.
Open up the board.
Listen, a lot of people look at me because my wife is a feminine woman, right? I'm not appearance wise, I'm not feminine. But when we do what we do, I'm feminine. Like I'm not using no, and that's just me. I don't use tools. We don't, it's just us. So I think that's another stereotype when it comes to a woman like me who looks aggressive, that we want to be men. I don't.
But
Right.
your
You know what I mean?
personality, you don't give that. A lot of them do. You
Right.
don't.
You
Like
don't.
I've
Yeah.
even seen you dress feminine. I'm like, okay.
I'm very feminine. My wife is like, oh, I didn't know you was that feminine when we first met. I'm like, yeah, I am, because for me, I like my tools. I like my breast. I like, I like everything. And I
You
would
like your
never,
ass. You like
I-
your vagina. You like
look,
all
and
that.
if you see me in person, you see I got some ass on me. I really do. It's not going nowhere.
Let's
I don't
got
hide
more
it.
ass. Look, let me.
And I don't hide it.
Hey, S Dot, let me borrow some of that ass.
Listen, we was
You
at the
better
store.
start renting it out.
Look, we was at the store the other day. My wife, I went to the store and I had these. I just got from work. This old man was cleaning the windows. She said, when I got back, she said he was looking at your ass. I said, I know. I saw his dirty ass looking at me. He was staring me up and down. Look,
Hey, when you walk
and everything.
When you walk, it jiggle too.
Listen, listen. It's don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted.
So okay, cool. Cause that was just something, and so it sounds like to me with S that this is who I am. I'm comfortable in my skin. I don't want to be a man, but I do like women. So I'm gonna use what I got. I'm gonna use the tools that God gave me to, when it comes to intercourse and sexual acts with my wife or my girlfriend. This is what I'm gonna do, and this is not the first time I heard you say that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's dope. Because that's who you are.
Right.
So let me ask you this though: your partner doesn't desire to have the tool, or do you make sure that's a discussion that's held before y'all interlock like that?
Yeah,
because you don't do none of that.
Or you got that power tongue. What is it?
Hey, look, I don't know. No, I'm just saying. No, seriously, like when you first meet someone, that's when you're supposed to communicate the things. And I let her know, like, hey, this is me. She let me know, hey, this is me, because I've dated people in the past that were bisexual, and it's to have that in the back of your mind. For me, I don't know about you, Rayvon, but for me, if you're bisexual, there's nothing wrong with that. But in the back of my mind, sometimes if we're having sex or whatever the case is, I don't want to be worried about if this is not good enough, or if you're missing something. So for me, I don't date bisexual women. Or I've stopped. I did it one time and I would never do it again. I'm married, so I don't foresee dating anymore, but I would never, that's just me.
I totally agree. I totally agree, because at the end of the day, just like if I've dated bisexual men, I can't compete with a woman at all. Just like you can't compete with a man. So at the end of the day, like if you like both, I get it. At first, it's kind of freaky, it's cool, it's fun. But if we get into a serious relationship, then I got to worry about you out here doing what the fuck you doing. I can't do that. In the back of my mind, and I'm always thinking, is always racing. I want to be secure in my relationship.
Exactly.
Because it's not. It's kind of like you don't only got to worry about is he or she gonna mess with another he or she. Right. Is he or she gonna mess with he or she? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What they're claiming. They might get tired of me and say, I don't want you today. I want this today. Mm-hmm. Or I don't want, with both of you, I don't want this today. I want her today. I don't want this today. I want him today. So really it eliminates a whole lot of inner thought. You know what I'm saying?
Or if I wake up with a bump, I gotta shoot you. I don't know where that bump came from, because I'm.
Hey, listen,
I'm not.
honey. So okay. So my question to you all: this is the part that I really like interviewing, like the questions and whatever. But
go for it, baby.
So, Esther, I know you expressed wanting to have a child.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. So what does that look like for you?
So that basically the process of the fertility clinic, it is more expensive. But I think in the past I've tried to do it like where it's like maybe a family member or somebody that I was close with my partner, of course. But it just becomes to me it can become like complicated because people, if they see the baby, if a man, he says, you know what, I'll do it for you. He sees
a
the
conflict
baby.
of interest.
Yeah. So he sees the baby and he gets attached to the baby, So I think that it's complicated to do it the free way, the easy way. I'd rather just go through, fertility.
Well, you know what you gotta do, right?
No.
You want me to tell you what you gotta do?
No.
Nope. You want me to keep it real and funky?
No.
All these deadbeat ass baby daddies out here that want to keep having kids. Go get one of them and they'll give you one. You ain't gotta worry. Look, you ain't gotta worry about them coming back to get it because they ain't worried about it no way.
That nigga don't even want to buy Pampers.
He don't want to buy Pampers.
Listen, not even that. They'll send the money, just don't want to see the kid because they ain't got time. But anywho, Rayvon, how do you feel about that piece?
I kind of go back and forth when I've been doing it for years. I want kids, but then I don't want kids. And now that I've gotten older, I just turned 37. I still don't feel like that's old, but I wanted to have a kid when I was like maybe in my 20s, in my 20s. But I'm not opposed to it. I would love to do it, but it has to be with the person that wants it also. I can't do it by myself. I can, but I don't want to.
Exactly.
So I feel like
your mate gotta want the same thing.
If that right person comes along in the future, depending on what I got going on there in my future, I would definitely love more. I want kids. I would love to have two. I want that white picket fence. I want all that. Like I have hopes and dreams of having all of that. If I don't, though, I'm not opposed. Hey, that Godfather.
Listen, I was about to say, no, I had a question. How would you do that? Like, would you,
right.
How would you do the process?
Would you do it naturally or would you hire a surrogate?
That was my question.
To insert your sperm.
Yeah.
If my other half is okay with that, I'm a bop, 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 bop.
Not bop, bop.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you how you gonna get it. You gonna get some chicken and start dicking.
Chicken and dicking. Cook me some chicken, you'll get some dicking. But no, all honesty, it would be
real.
Like
I want to tell real. You heard Rayvon, and Rayvon said he gonna get some chicken and dicking for that baby.
But it would simply be for it would be an understanding between all of us, because if it's gonna be, I think if it's gonna cause an issue, I would rather for us to have a good connection and not fuck it up. So I would do it, we'd go to the clinic and make it happen.
Okay.
Right. Well,
because we never want that relationship to go astray, especially if you bringing a kid into it.
Right.
We need everything to be up and up.
Put some of that on ice for me and my wife.
Hey, when I leave you, I'm gonna do some samples.
Hey, you know what though? But listen, hold fast though. Hold fast. I think that y'all need to cross-reference, and then y'all get a baby, and then y'all get a baby, and then they're siblings, right?
You get a baby. You get a baby. You get a baby.
Like when you really think about it though, seriously. When you really think about it, though, think about it, and say like y'all two want, you and your wife want a baby, and you and your husband want a baby, right? Mm-hmm. Why not cross-reference like that? Because then you already know what the other is going
some kind of way. We are really family, so
I know.
The baby would be cute. We got the looks.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Because really, what your concerns are, would they want to come back, and what your concerns are is, will she fall for him? Will he fall for her? But then it's like, hold up. No, because we both know what it is. And we both really, y'all are helping each other's fear. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because y'all already know what you fear anyway.
All three was pretty established. So
yeah.
Hey.
All three? You mean all four? It's four y'all. Because you and your partner, her and her partner. But you understand what I'm saying? So it's it's the cross-reference thing. And so, raw wisdom as always. Hey,
I got a question.
Light bug.
I got a question, bro. So the I can see it says Facebook user. I can't see who's saying what. Is that how it's supposed to be?
Yeah, I can't see whose name
I can see
I
is.
the
can't at
comments, but I
all.
can't
I
see
can
who
see
it
the
is.
comment. I can see the comment, but I can't see the name. And
Okay.
normally you would see
I'm
the
gonna go on
names. I don't
Facebook and
know.
see the comments.
Yeah, I don't know
They're
why.
popping up. I just can't see by who.
Yeah. So when y'all comment, if y'all can say y'all name, because I'm really getting used to this StreamYard. It's something
This
new
is
to me,
nice.
to us. But so my next question is when your next question is um my next question is y'all can say your name. You're gonna have to mute it, whoever that is.
I
If you're
did.
gonna watch it on live, you're gonna have to turn it down. You're gonna have to, yeah, turn it down. Um, my next question is when you bring a baby into a same-sex relationship,
Mhm.
right? What will be your morals and principles as far as in helping the child understand, or you just kind of go with the flow, like, and I can't say, I guess I'm gonna say, just coming from my generation, there's no disrespect towards y'all, because normal to me is man and woman, right? To be honest, and I'm being straight up because we talking all the way across the board. Normal, but not saying that y'all are like Mars and Jupiter, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying. So, like in my household, it's woman and man. So when you raise the child, it's mama and daddy, right?
Hmm.
And mom and daddy make other kids. That's just what it is. But
Hmm.
when you have a child in the same sex relationship, what do you tell that child? Does the child call one mom or one dad, or both moms or both dads? And when the child gets a little older and start to see, well, why is it that um, Rachel and James has it's man and woman, they have kids. So like how would you break that down to your child when that question arises? Because kids ask, because we were kids, and it's like you kind of want to know and understand. So how would
Kids
y'all,
nosy.
huh?
I said kids are nosy. They pick up on
Well,
everything.
they're not nosy. They just want to. They're ready to learn. When you are ready to
Well,
learn, you
yeah,
ask
very
questions.
aware.
Yeah, to inquire, so you can understand what's going on here. And then you already know you got kids, so you got to educate them and tell them before other kids start saying little things. But I'm sure with this day and time,
Yeah.
being in the lesbian, gay, bisexual community, it's kind of like, okay, it's becoming the new normal, right? But I still talk to my kids and tell them this is my way, but I'm gonna love you whichever way you go, but this is my way. And then this is how, like, I had to break it down to my daughters, right? When it's women and man, that you can't reproduce. These are the stages that you got to go through, right? And so all that going through the phase and sitting on the fence and doing all this, because you got to tell your kids that, because sometimes kids will follow a trend, right? And then it's like when they start following it, it's like, oh, okay, well, I didn't know that. So to give them like that education piece, and I always wondered, like, how does and what would a same-sex relationship, how would you educate your kids on the way y'all have done things?
I think for me, first things first is I would let kids be kids first. Like, you know what I mean? Let them be a kid. Now, if they start to ask questions and things like that, that's when you sit down and you talk to them and you explain to them. They're
Yeah,
going to be
because well, that's
curious.
what I'm saying. Once they
Yeah.
start inquiring,
Oh,
because
yeah.
of course you're gonna let them be kids, but even
Yeah.
when you and I, when sex education started, we was one. You know what I'm saying? Then we
Yeah.
look at TV, so then you start to ask questions, and some parents you couldn't talk to.
Right.
So that was just like one of the questions that I
You
had for
know,
you all as well.
I even thought of, because, I have a goddaughter and I've been, she's 6. So she's been
Right.
around me and she's, my partner at the time for 6 years. So I've thought about that, but honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I honestly don't know because it hasn't happened to me. I've thought about it so much. I honestly just think that I'm gonna sit down and explain kind of, how things
When it
are
happens.
when it happens. I think now, I'm being honest with you, with the cartoon things that are happening right now, me as a lesbian woman, I don't feel like they should put titles on cartoons. That's just me. And that's my own
I agree with you.
opinion. I
Right.
feel like, I think Superman came out gay like or bisexual like last month, but you know, kids. I just think that kids need to be kids. That's just me personally.
Me too, and I said that too. I think that why are y'all? And I'm gonna ask this question because I want to see how y'all feel about it. But I see this because I feel like if this is how you are, you're gay, you're lesbian, whatever, bisexual, right? If this is how you are, and you want all this respect, what about giving the respect to the people that feel the way that they feel? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's just like when you go to the restrooms. Now you want it to be okay for a man dressed like a woman to come in a bathroom with women. You understand? I don't think that's cool. I don't think it's fair because it opens up another whole door for evilness. It opens up another whole door for a pedophile. You understand what I'm saying? Even though they might not be liking a woman, right? But if this is what I got to do to get what I want, then I'm gonna dress up and I'm gonna pursue it and I'm gonna go in the stall. You see what I'm saying? Just to get my fetish.
I think everywhere should have a unisex bathroom.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. But you know, they wasn't trying to do the unisex bathroom. They just was trying to enforce that somebody in the gay community up there in the tier was just saying, if I'm dressed like a woman, I should be able to go in the woman's bathroom. Yeah. No, if y'all feel that way about it and you want to give them their way, then just have 3 bathrooms. You got man, woman, and unisex.
Yeah.
Bathrooms. And that's it. You know, and so
I mean, it's already kind of set up like that. Like when you go to the mall, like I think it's a men's, woman's, and then like family or something like that.
Yeah, that's
just make that like a
unisex. No. It's family.
It's
No. It's not. That family means it got more things in there, so the mom and dad can go in there with the kid.
I thought there was only one stall in there though.
No, but it's a family. It might be one stall, but it allows you to take your kids in there with you. You see what I'm saying?
With the baby, I think it has like the baby changes.
Right. So it's really for a family, but it needs to say unisex. So whether you dressing like a woman, man, or whatever, this is your bathroom. And then it'll kind of just separate everything because to me, you still got to respect the boundaries of the people that's heterosexual. Not saying that they feel disrespected, but you can't force, just like we can't force our way on y'all, you can't force your way on us. Right. And just to keep it respectful all the way across the board. You know, you want to come in the bathroom because I'd be upset if I send Destiny in the bath. She's 14, I send her in the bathroom, and then a trainee go in there, but it's really a man, right? But then she in there use the bathroom, and she go in, and the whole time he pulling out his, you know what I'm saying, his penis, and it's like, hold up.
And then we all in jail.
Huh?
I said, then we all in jail.
Yeah, but then it's vice versa because if a woman goes into a man's bathroom and she copping a squat over the stand-up stall because the other ones is busy, it's, you know what I'm saying? Or she on her cycle or whatever. I'm just saying when you look at it all the way across the board, I just think that it's just respect comes both ways, and you just some things you just don't need to change. And if that's your preference, then that's your preference. You just got to understand when you out in public and you got to go to a bathroom, if you got a tool down there. If it's a woman tool, then you need to go in a woman's stall. If it's a man tool, you need to go over here where the man's at. If you choose to dress the way you dress, that's just what it is. So that was just like my kind of like feedback on it. Well, my thoughts, I'm gonna say. But and then like with the kids, I kind of want, I wonder that piece with the raising. But like you said, Esther, that it will come when your child asks that question. Yeah, because of course you let a kid be a kid.
But that's just like, I mean, and I don't, that's just like religion. If you teach your child to be a Christian, when they get older, they might not want to be a Christian, or whatever. They may choose a different path than that. So I think that when it comes to that, it's kind of like the same thing. Is if they ask questions about it, you as a parent are there to support and explain to them, pretty much the questions that they have. So that's a good question.
I do have a question because this is for SDOT because I've been around situations where there are 2 females and one has a daughter. And the one that was more, she wasn't even manly, but she dressed like a boy. But the girl had the daughter and she would let her call her daddy. And I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Because my thing is like, she's young and her perspective of a father is going to be a woman with big titties, and she's not going to know, not going to know the difference of a real man.
It's causing confusion.
Yeah,
It's causing confusion. And you're right, because for a kid, it's like they're learning. They're trying to understand. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And you got her calling her daddy, but that goes back to, again, in their relationship, they raised their child to call this is the dad and then this is the mom. Just what I said earlier. How would you what would you have your dad call you? I mean, what would you have? So Rayvon, what would you have your child call you and your partner? Dad and dad?
Dad, dad and dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up, dad
Because
and dad.
really,
And if
because
they
dad
ever
and
ask
dad
me why,
resides with
like,
the
why do
man.
I have two dads? I would simply say because we love you, we care for you, and we're taking care of you. We're
Right.
both men. So
Right.
when they get old enough to understand, then I would explain to them why you were calling us both dad.
Exactly.
Right.
Because we are, you know.
And I can respect that because you're not lying to them. Because you
Yeah.
saying that's mom and then that's dad, you're lying to your child. Because
Mhm.
then too, you're telling them that mom is a man instead
That's
of
just like
mom being a
my
woman.
grandkids. They asked me, they was like, would they call him Papa? And when they got to know me, they was like, well, what should we call you? The oldest
Yeah.
son. I was like, well, whatever, what you want to call me? He said, well, I'm gonna call you Papa too. I said, I'm fine with that. So he calls me Papa too.
Right.
Papa one and
Because
Papa two.
because Papa, Grandpa, Granddaddy,
Mhm.
Daddy, you know what I'm saying? That all
Yeah.
resonate with a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mimi, Grandma, Nana, Gigi, it resonates with a woman. You see what
Yep.
I'm saying? And so there's nothing wrong with it. I think that, I think that's cool because you are comfortable who you are and you're not lying to your child and
Yeah.
they're going to make their choice anyway. It's just like, both of y'all was brought here with man and woman, right? But
Yeah.
as you got older, your choice was to be with the same sex.
Mhm.
And when you talk to your parent about it, it's okay. We accept you. We love you. It is what it is.
Mhm.
And that's the same way it's going to be with your child.
Now we
So,
popping.
Can I just say something?
I said, now we
Uh-huh.
popping.
So I think another stereotype that I wanted to talk about, and I don't know, Rayvon, if this happens to you, but a lot of people that I have conversations about with things like this, they're like, "Oh, did something happen to you? As a kid, to where
Yes.
Like you got molested.
Yeah, I'm like, hold up, what you
That's
I'm
ignorance.
like, it doesn't necessarily just because we choose to be with the same sex does not mean, and in some cases it may happen, right? But it doesn't mean that just because we like the same sex that something had to happen to us as kids. I think that that's another stereotype that you hear a lot. A lot of people,
Yeah.
I've been asked that, and I'm like, hold up,
Yeah.
you asked me? No, that did not happen.
And I
to
can't
me.
say it's ignorance, but I think it's people that don't really know what's going on. Like, yeah, some people that don't know about racism,
Yeah.
don't understand it, don't realize like why we go through or why we feel the way we feel. So like I have to really feel that person out. Like if it's somebody that a white person or just anybody, and I know that they're kind of like in the clouds mentally, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't take offense to it because I have to school them. But if it's somebody that I know that is like just like ignorant, I don't feed that shit.
You know what I think, and I'm going to assume.
Okay.
I'm just going to assume off of experience what I have seen
Okay.
in the beginning
Mhm.
when you didn't see people come out on a regular basis, and back in the day
Mhm.
for the generation 1 and 2 ahead of us, that was the reason for them being the way that they were because they were molested and raped for so many years that it
Yeah.
made them look at the opposite sex like you're just here to hurt me.
Mm.
And when it was time for intercourse with the opposite sex, once they overcame being they're adult now, it just was more painful to them than enjoyment. So it was like they got more pleasure out of the same sex.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you're just think about if you're being molested and raped by the opposite sex, you're damn near for years and years of your childhood or
Mhm.
molested, you are going to look at the opposite sex like you have hurt me. You see what I'm saying? Until you get that counseling. Now, because we know back then, for us, there wasn't no counseling. You know what I'm saying? For our culture, and I'm gonna say the other cultures too. There wasn't really no counseling and therapy into play. It was just be
Yeah.
quiet, don't say nothing, because we
Right.
know that a lot of times when that happened, it was within the family, within the house.
Right.
So it wasn't really talked about. But like you said, when people hold it in and you held it in so long, you became angry.
I did.
And so when you become angry, some people just shut down from the sex or the type that has hurt them, right? So then they just gravitate to, she would never hurt me. But then you have people come into play and say, this as well, I won't hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Like I asked the question earlier, was it told to you that you will be hurt? Because I heard that as well. And I'm talking
Yeah.
about I heard that from some of my friends that was told to them, I would never hurt you like he did. You understand what I'm saying? I would never do that to you. And then like that was their play to intercept and really show their true feelings towards the person that they really was liking the whole time.
Mhm.
So that was kind of like their way of getting that. So then it was like, let me introduce you to this side. And like I've seen it. And if we talked about it, I talk to everybody and just be talking freely. I am. Both of y'all know I am. And so when I asked questions and inquired, that was the feedback, and that's what was told. Either they was raped and it just did something to them, or
Yeah.
they was hurt. Every time they dealt with the opposite sex, they was hurt. I didn't really hear too much from the men's perspective. The men's perspective was they was molested,
Yeah.
right? They was molested by a man or touched by a man, and that was just like they became accustomed to the feeling,
Hmm.
and so it was like an attraction to them, right?
I've heard that
For
as
the
well.
man's piece, but for the woman's piece, it was more so they either was raped or molested, or they was hurt repeatedly by the opposite sex, and they just felt safe and comfortable with the same sex, and they just have no desire because they look at all men the same. You're dogs. You don't want to do nothing but use me and abuse me. So
Well, I will say, I've been there. You know, I don't talk about it, but hey, we talking about this. Let's talk about it. I've been through that several times. I've been raped several times, and there's nothing that I'm proud of. Nothing that someone should ever go through, especially as a man. You feel like you should never go through that. But when people get to the point where they think that they can take advantage of you, it happens. It
so
definitely
were
happens.
you a kid or were you adult, and then they just
It,
thought
the
that we
first
can rape you and
time,
get away
the
with it?
first time it happened, I was 15.
Okay.
The second time I was 19, and the last time I was 30 years old.
Wow.
Me
Wow.
being fucked up and out in DC at the club, and that's the last time it happened. But let me just say this: people don't understand. A man can be raped. It's not that he
Yeah.
wants to be; it happens.
And raped
So
by a
don't
woman.
ever think,
Men
yeah,
have been raped by
can be
women.
raped by a woman or man. So
Yeah.
don't ever think it can't happen to you. It happens.
Because
So
anytime you are in a party and turn up environment and you wake up and that woman has gave you head or all sex and talked about how she worked you and this, that, and the third, and you really don't have no consent of it, that's
yeah,
rape.
sure.
Because if women lay down and they wake up and it happens to them, what they yelling?
But it's
Yeah.
always a double standard because I feel like today, even today, when a man is raped, it's so hard to believe. So when it comes to a woman, it's like, oh, that whole movement is so crazy. But with
Right.
a
Uh-huh.
man, it's so different. And
It's kind of
I don't
thrown
think
under the
that's right.
bridge. Like, oh, he a man.
Yeah, oh, he wanted his dick sucked, or he wanted that, like, come
Uh-huh.
on, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
So
but I think that that's like that because men don't share and communicate it as a woman would, because it makes them look vulnerable, it makes them look weak. Because as we talked before, as we talked before about that, it's, men always feel like they don't have a voice when it comes to certain things because
Mm-hmm.
it makes them look like they're weak or
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Or you a man, you like, oh, and it don't even be from women, it be from their peers, it be from their homeboy. Like, how you gonna complain about getting some pussy? How you gonna complain about getting some head? Well,
Mm,
I'm complaining because I didn't want to, and she violated me, and it was called rape. And when it's called rape, that means it hurt. It wasn't pleasant because you're doing something
Yeah.
to me that I don't want to do.
right.
Yeah.
Another
So
question
S
that
dot,
of that
what's your thought on the baby?
on what we were just talking about.
Just the whole conversation as far as rape, men, female.
I've never experienced that. No. Actually, I'm be honest with you. I haven't experienced it, but it was close. It was actually at a party. And I
Mhm.
actually was at that time, it was the partner that I was with, and I kind of woke myself up. But it was one of my friends, and he really tried it. He really tried it. I felt like, yeah, but it didn't happen. But I
Yeah.
kind of feel like he was plotting on me. He's been plotting on me. He would make like comments and say, "Hey, um, this and that. Have you ever tried it? Have you ever?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I have. I have in the past." But when
Yeah.
someone makes little comments, it's kind of like they you thinking they are friends,
He's
but
reaching. They reaching.
he's looking at me. He's looking at me in a way that I'm
He's
not
looking
looking
and
at him.
lurking.
Right.
Right. Right.
But
And it probably was so much like, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that some men be like this when it comes to lesbians.
yeah.
I think that they really be like, I bet you I'm a dick
Oh,
her
she
down. I'm gonna
wants some
change her
dick.
mind.
Or
And
Like
you
some
ain't
she
had
men
the
get
ain't
right
mad
about
about
one.
it.
that.
You ain't had the right one. Let me show you
Yeah.
this. I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
And that's
That
so
too.
judgmental.
Yeah, they get like that, and they feel like, I'm a be. I'm gonna show you what a man about. I'm gonna give you some real dick because, like you said, they think every lesbian is got a strap on. You
Yeah,
see what I'm
no.
saying?
And you
And
know
Mm-mm.
and,
what's
and
so
so when they
crazy?
feel like, huh?
Just to make a joke out of it, just to bring the comedian back, it be the little dick motherfuckers.
Look,
Man, take that little shit to
I don't
yourself.
I don't
Stop
judge
playing.
anybody, but for some of
Would
those,
you say it be the little dick motherfuckers that
Them little
got
dick
up? But
niggas.
but you know what? But you know why it's the little dick motherfuckers? Because they can't get no
Insecurities.
because they can't get no booty. That's why.
they be plotting on you.
That
Yeah,
big.
they be on it. So any advice? So S dot.
Yes.
What advice would you give that young girl
Mhm.
that feels like she is lesbian, right? But she don't know how to get it out to share to her friends and her family or somebody that she likes. What advice would you give them?
I would give them the advice that I kind of took for myself was just find somebody that you trust. Just find somebody that you trust to talk about it, about your feelings. I would tell her that, your feelings are valid. What you feel, your feelings are real. Just pretty much find someone that you can trust in. Because sometimes it can backfire. It can backfire to where the little girl, she goes to somebody who she thinks she can trust. And then that person goes and spreads, every rumors and things about her. And then she gets bullied or, worse, So I think that the biggest thing is to find somebody that you can trust, and talk to them about that until you're comfortable to come out, fully for yourself. It really is. And Rayvon probably can tell you this, but it's a process. It really
It
is a
is.
process. Like it's not something that is months or whatever. I mean, this starts in your childhood.
If I
It
just
started in
It's
my
answer,
childhood.
hard. It's hard. It's difficult.
Yeah. So
It
it's a
is.
process. So that's what I would tell. I heard she muted. She
okay,
muted.
so Raymond, so what would be your advice to the boys and men that's out there that is going through the struggle of revealing who they are? And to be honest, you got grown people that
Mhm.
don't want a certain type of people to know their sexuality because they feel like they're going to be judged. So, what would you say to young boys, teenage boys, and then young men
I
that's
think.
not comfortable in their skin.
Can I say
I
this
was
first before you?
Uh-huh.
go ahead, baby. You good.
I think that men have it worse than women when it comes to
They
coming
do
out.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
we're a man. We're supposed to be providers, supposed to be manly, masculine.
Right.
So I would say, with that being said, believe in yourself. Stop letting when you open up. Stop letting being gay define you. You define who you are as a man. Being gay is not who you are. Being a man is who you are. Being gay is what you choose to sleep with,
Mhm.
your sexuality, but that doesn't define you. So that first of all. So another thing is, stop letting people in your circle that you think are going to support you without knowing who they are. Because at the end of the day, I've been that person to where I've been around straight men or bisexual men or women or whatever, and they be like, "Oh, I got you," whatever, whatever, and then it's like it's really just using you for who you are. Because let's keep it honest, gay, lesbian, we get that money, we get that bag, and seriously, we get that bag,
We
and we
do.
like to live comfortable. So
Mhm.
if you're the type of person that you're gay or bisexual, you're gay or lesbian, and you like bisexual people, and they know that you do, and they're broke as hell, they're gonna try to get their money from you. Don't feed into it. Stick to your own. Believe in yourself. Don't feed into that dumb shit. Do you be who you are and live.
Whoever just said
Period.
stand your
And
ground.
don't
Okay.
let anyone discourage you from just being yourself.
Right.
Cause I
So
love me, baby.
I know that's right.
Listen, before we go, I got a question for both of y'all.
Uh-huh.
Do y'all know what's going on with Lil Boozy and Lil Nas X?
No.
Have you seen the video of Lil Nas X?
I I haven't, but I've seen some of his videos, and to me, I think that Little Nas X takes it too far
Okay.
for because you have kids that's watch. Like I don't know. I just think, but again, it's here. It's in the world.
I
That's
like
just
that
what
he's
it's gonna
comfortable,
be.
but he does go a little too,
He is comfortable, but even if you are, even if Lil Kim get on the stage, because we know that Lil Kim is a freak.
She
I'm a
is.
Lil
smack.
Kim and what's the little shorty that's out here latest? What's her name? Little Spanish chick. Everybody like, not Nicki
Um,
Minaj.
Cardi B.
Oh, huh?
Cardi B?
Cardi.
Yes. So even with them, I just think when you are a performer and this is who you are, but it's kind of like a catch-22 per se. You be who you are, but I just think everything ain't for everybody, and I just think everything ain't for TV and social media. And you got to be mindful who's watching and who's following you and who idolizes you and
But
who
you
will
know what? He
say,
don't
if
care.
Lil
He getting
Nas
that
do it,
money.
I'm gonna do it. Because him standing up on stage and you tongue kissing a man all the way down and you doing all that extra stuff, like that's just crazy. Like when I think it was Fantasia and Jamie Foxx when they did that kiss and the slob came, and it's like really.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times for the awards and stuff, that's a family TV show. When you
Mhm.
sit down with everybody in the house ready for the awards because we're supporting our culture, right? So you got your kids in the room and shit get explicit. You like, hold up.
So that's why I asked this, because right now that's one of the discussions I had with one of my friends. Is that Lil Nas X is doing that, but then it's like that side is kind of saying, okay, but you're putting guns in videos. You got
Exactly.
so it's just kind of
It's
like
kind of
it's one of those
hard.
things. You know what I mean? You're kind
Well,
of like,
well, yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, as that is a valid point, and that is a great point because again, you are criticizing him for exploiting his sexuality, but he's doing that because he feels some type of way because he's gay and he's a
yeah,
black male. Again,
But
you're
again,
bashing his
is that us
sexuality.
being judgmental though?
Yes,
yes,
exactly. That's being judgmental, but at the same time, you are no different when you are advertising guns and weapons and stuff like that. But I
exactly.
will say on Lil Boosie's defense. When you
Okay.
listen to his music, he talk about that though. He talk about guns and he talk about how kids, like I have his CD and I'm telling you, and that one CD that I got, I don't even know the name of it, but it's so real and it's so facts. But again, we do see you on it downgrading women. They butt popping and titties and butt. So you ain't no different than him. You just feel some type of way because he's a black young man dressing in pink and he likes the tool that you walking around with. That's your problem with it, right? But you gotta respect that if that's his way, that's his way. Your way of being gangster is your way of being gangster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that is the valid point as that. And the thing of it is, people respect. If you don't like it, stroll past it. You
But
know what I'm saying? You
that's
feel
what's
that
going
deep
on with the
about it?
black community right now. It's
Yeah.
just right now, everything with the black community is gay versus not gay. Like, and it's just, you know, I mean, it's too much. We got to fight anyway.
It's always like
right
a
now.
fight, like back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, we all just be one fucking person. Like, you fuck
Right.
when you want to fuck, or like, come on.
Well, again,
It's a lie.
Yes, again, people need to stop being judgmental and be comfortable within their skin and understand what's
People
for me
need to
may
stay in
not
their
be
lane
for
and
us
mind their
that,
damn business.
and
That's what it is.
what's for us that might not be for Rayvon.
Exactly.
But we are going past our time, and I know we
Okay.
got places to be, things to do.
Yes.
All right.
Great show. I feel like we need a part 2 of this.
We do. We do.
Also,
Really do.
I want to say this as my perspective as a heterosexual woman. I want to say this to all individuals. If you're out there and if you are a gay black man or a gay woman, I don't mean to put no race with it, man or female, if this is your lifestyle and this is what brings you peace and this is your preference, be who you are. You got to set the standards for you. You can't want somebody to be comfortable with your sexuality if you're not even comfortable with your sexuality. You can't want nobody to respect your sexuality if you're not respecting your sexuality. So again, it's not like Rayvon said, like S. Dot said, it's not the sexuality, it's the individual, it's the human being. Be who you are, talk to your parents, talk to your friends, and if that's who you are, if people are for you, they're going to support you. They're going to be there for you because again, they are for you, not your sexuality. And the ones that's going to shy away because of your sexuality, then they only look at you one way. They're not open-minded and they're just in their lane. But don't let that put you into depression. Don't let that take you into anxiety. Don't let that take you into putting tape across your mouth because you don't have a voice around a certain type of people. I'm not saying go and flash it and do and be disrespectful with it, but this is your statement. This is who I am. You're going to take it. You're going to leave it. You know, I'm not hiding. I'm not talk about it to your mother. Talk about it to your father. These parents that's out here, when your child come to you and they explain to you they like a woman, they like a male, and that's just their sex. As parents, we sit, we talk to our kids, we educate them, we support them because us turning our back on them, they're going to get education from somewhere else. Then it might become reckless. Then it's going to become too late. Talk to them, support them, love them. You understand? As parents, it starts with us. We have to be there for our kids. And if we're not going to be there for our kids because we don't understand it, then you have that conversation with your child. You don't have it with your friends. You don't have it with other people. You don't you have it with your child so they can understand. And then as kids too, and individuals, if your family and your friends don't understand it because they really don't condone it because they believe in the biblical way of man and woman, y'all got to respect that too. You got to understand it goes both ways. You can't want us to respect your way, but then you don't want to respect our way and our morals and our principles. And if everybody respects everything, then it's fair game. It is what it is. So it can't be one-sided. You don't want to talk to me because I'm gay, but then you don't want to talk to me because I don't want to accept you. I'm not saying I don't want to accept you, but I don't want to accept your lifestyle, but I accept you. Meaning you have people that, you know, I love you, right? So if I'm just using as an example, y'all two are my kids. I love you, you my kids. I support you 100%. However, when you come to my house, I don't care for the same sex thing, right? And it's all a respect thing. But then it goes to if I don't care for it, I can't come to your house and turn up my nose at your partner. If I come in your house, I need to speak to your partner because I'm in your environment, your house. When you come to mine, same rules apply. You know what I mean? And I just think that the communication needs to be held, the talks need to be held, discussions need to be held, and it needs to be fair exchange, because that means no robbery.
If
And
you don't
everybody
agree,
just needs to love.
if you don't agree, that's fine. Just don't disrespect.
Exactly.
Keep the respect going.
But
You
I'm gonna
know?
tell
You can
y'all
love
this.
or hate me. Just respect me.
Exactly. That's
Yes,
facts.
and I'm gonna tell y'all this, both of you.
Because that'll make me
And
fold you up.
anybody that's out there in the lesbian gay community, I'm gonna say this to y'all. I don't have an issue with your sexuality. All I have an issue is with you being happy. Be happy. You be who you are. You love who you are, and you set the standards for you, and you set the tone for you. And they're gonna take it. They're gonna leave it. But when it comes to me, it's all love. It's all love, because the same way I want you to respect me and my husband, I'm going to give respect to you and your wife, to you and your husband, because that's your choice, because the love that I have for you as a person is bigger than your sexuality, period. And that's for everybody that I come in contact with. So again, everybody have a great week. I love
Shout
y'all.
out to the
Next week's
people making
topic.
the comments too.
Yes, and for some reason, you guys, we can't see the comment on the thread. So I know that y'all been talking to us, and we'll try to figure them glitches out. But thank you all for chiming in. I appreciate you all. I love you all. Next week we will be back, and we will have the topic of the absent parent. So next week's topic is absent parents. So it's talking
But we
about.
definitely got to do a part 2 of this, because I feel like this would
Yes.
never be a never-ending
No.
conversation.
Yes.
Yes, for
We
sure.
we definitely can do a part 2 in season 3 of this.
I would love for us to be in the same rooms to where we can have a round table.
Yeah, we that
Look,
definitely
how
can
cool would
happen.
it be to have a feminine woman as well, and then a feminine man as well?
In a
it's
training.
Exactly. Yes.
So it's-
yes. So again, it'll be a round table, but what we're
And
going
that's
to
gonna
do
be
is
2 hours though.
yeah. Well, it can be
Straight
an
up.
open mic, but what we're going to do is we'll have the round table period, right? Where everybody sit down and we talk, and the podcast will go until we ain't got nothing to talk about.
red table
right?
talk.
Exactly. So
Thanks for
again,
having me.
Let's
Thank
find
you.
Jada. Let's find Jada.
thank you for
Thank you.
coming on, joining us, spending time with us. That you be blessed. 10 toes down,
Love
chin
you,
up.
baby. Haven't
Also,
seen you in a while.
congratulations on your foundation that's coming, your nonprofit organization.
Thank you.
You make sure, when everything takes place, you share it with me so we can share it with the world. And
Okay.
we're going to make it do what it do. Next week's topic, absent parents. Love you guys.
Let's talk about
November
that baby.
7th,
All
we're
right.
going to be in Fredericksburg. So,
Bye. Thanks for having me.